Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am Living from 510, and I'm here with...
ItsDawkins. I'm back with my man Living. Here to give you another episode.
Yes, he is back. He's finally back. We've waited a week and 3 days, but ItsDawkins is back in the building. So, you know what? If you guys don't know what this is, do you want to give a quick rundown on what it is, ItsDawkins?
Well, just in case if you missed our first episode, this is our opinion on the top 10 big men in the NBA. We're trying not to give life achievement awards. This is based on what they did last year and what we think they're going to do in the upcoming NBA season, if there is one.
Yes. So, sorry, I was doing something else. So, because of that, we are going to give out Lifetime Achievement Awards on my side. Over there, where he is, and on the bay, you know, where they dress around in skirts, they don't give Lifetime Achievement Awards. But here, in the Midwest, where we grit and dirt, we give out Lifetime Achievement Awards. So, without further ado, we're going to give the bottom 5 of our lists. The first video is in the link, so you guys can go check that out. But let's just start it off here. So, I'm going to go first, you know, to switch it up here. So my number 5 big man in the NBA going into the 2011 season is Chris Bosh. Now, again, we talked about this in the last video. I'm just going to summarize it really quick. Scoring, defense, underrated, has a head like a dinosaur. Good enough. Okay, then we got number 4, Al Horford. He is like the star. I mean, you could argue between him and Joe Johnson as a star on his team, but basically, this guy, he's big, but he doesn't seem like he's that big. And because he doesn't seem like that, I think things get a little bit exaggerated. But having said that, he can shoot, he can play defense, he can grab those boards. He may not be as physical as some of the other people, but you got to put him up there just based on pure talent. And then on number 3, I know I'm going to hear a lot of shit from this from everyone, is Brook Lopez. Now, even if you guys didn't know that I was a Nets fan, now you do. This guy is just incredible. I mean, when I say incredible, I just have all these images of him making all these crazy shots and like leading the Nets to a win. He had some buzzer beaters to win the game for us this past season. So he's just an all-around player. There's nothing else I can say. And he would be number 2 on my list if it wasn't for number 2, who is Dwight Howard. Defense, big body, Shaq ain't got nothing on him. Defense, big body, Shaq ain't got nothing on him. Then you got Dirk. Now, I know people are saying, hey, you know what, he's old, he's wrinkly, you know what, fuck that. Okay, so excuse my language, you little kids. No, don't say that at home. Dirk is like finals MVP, okay? If I was going to go into next season with a big man that I had to choose on between my list and ItsDawkins' list, I choose a big man that led his team to the NBA Finals. He was sick. He still came back and played. Now, I know that sometimes age is a deterring factor. You know, people are like, oh, well, age, and they kind of stay away from it. But in this case, I'm thinking because of his age, I'm going to get him. Because of that experience, because of that desire, he's my number 1 big man.
Well, okay. Alright. I'm going to just go out on there and limb and say that you gave a Lifetime Achievement Award to Dirk. That is my opinion. And to say that is like, he's not even like a top big man of all time. You keep on hearing people say, oh, well, he's a top shooting big man. That's just one aspect of basketball. He's a liability on D. I don't know how many times I was screaming at my TV during the Miami series about grab a rebound, play some defense, do this, do that. He's the only 7-footer in history that you were scared to put on the court because of defense. And that's fact. I do agree with you with Al Horford. But Chris, I mean, I'm not even going to judge Chris Bosh. Whatever. You know how I feel about him. But Mr. Lopez, Brook Lopez, that is a joke. You are so biased, it's crazy. He is not top 5 at all. He is in my top 10, but he's not top 5. He's not top 3, and you have him in the top 3. That is ridiculous to me. He is not a dominant big man. He can shoot, he can rebound, but he's not a big enough presence to keep guards out of the paint. And to me, that's what you want your big to do, is to keep guards out of the paint, and he doesn't do that. So, here's my list. I have Dirk number 5, no Lifetime Achievement Awards. I feel like Dirk, throughout his whole career, has underachieved. That's my opinion. He's number 5 based on what he did in the finals and what he did last season. Number 4, Zach Randolph. Back in 2009-2010 season, he was an all-star. This year in the playoffs, he basically was the reason why Memphis did so well in the playoffs and in the regular season. Number 3, Al Horford. You already talked about Al Horford. I think that if he can progress a little bit more on the offensive side, he will be a beast. Number 2, Amari Stoudemire. I do not know how you don't have him on your list. That's ridiculous to me. Amari Stoudemire is one of the best offensive big men in the game. My opinion, he could be in the top 10 offensive big man of all time. That is my opinion. He's way better than Dirk on the offensive end. He doesn't have to jump off one leg and throw some crazy, ugly shot to get it in. He can get his post up, turn around jumper. He's a dominant dunker. He can dunk on anybody in the league. And I've said, and of course, the big man from Orlando, you already said Shaq ain't got nothing on him, Dwight Howard. He improved on his jumper this year. He has a jumper. Last year he didn't have a jumper. Years before that he didn't have a jumper. And we already know he's the most dominant defensive and rebounding big man in the game. So my top 5, Dirk, Zach Randolph. Number 3, Al Horford. Number 2, Amari. And number 1, DH, the real DH, Dwight Howard.
The real DH is Devin Harris, just so you guys know. So you guys can write in the comments, he is not the real DH. But first, there are a couple of people on here that I kind of have a little bit of issues with, I think. Now, it's weird because just to give you guys a little bit of background on this, we talk about it beforehand. And I was going to say Amare, okay? And I was really going to go bad on him and all that stuff. But Amare, now I think about it, you made a really good point, ItsDawkins. I mean, this guy, he's, like you said, he can bang on anyone, you know? And his defense is a little bit underrated, and people got to see him play a lot this last year, you know, because those games, those Knick games, were always on ESPN. They're always on TNT, you know.
Yep.
So people got to see him a lot, and I think that you have him at a good spot there. So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. But what I am going to say is Dirk should be higher than Randolph and Horford. Okay, because this guy, one, has a ring, okay, and that, I mean, you know, rings decide whether you get VIP treatment or whether you get to sit next to the kitchen. So just based on that, I'm gonna have to argue that Dirk should be above them. Plus, I think he's a better scorer than them. I think he's a better rebounder than them.
No.
I think he's a better defender than Al Horford. And I think he's a little bit more passionate, and because of the passion, he's more he's like more willing to go one-on-one against a big man than Zach Randolph is. But I don't think he's better than Amari or Howard. So I'm gonna have to put him at number 3.
You can put Dirk. So you say Dirk will be number 3. I could accept that.
Yeah, I knew that.
But no, because in me, I'm doing the opposite of Lifetime Achievement Awards. When I see him get demolished by the Warriors in the first round, when they was the number 1 seed, and I still remember them getting blown a 2-game lead in the finals against Miami, it's like I still see that. And because of that, I can't put him, and based on last year too, I can't put him higher than number 5. Because last year he didn't have the most dominating year. In the playoffs, yes he did. But as a whole year, he did not.
Yeah, that's really true, and you do have a good point there. But I think that we have to remember that, and this is the same thing, and we talked about this in accordance with the NFL Network's top 100 list. Is in order to make this list, we have to disregard everything before this year, and you have to do that because So just based on last year, I'd have to put Dirk at number 3. Now, if I were going to say, and I definitely, you know, obviously that stuck in your head when you beat your Warriors.
No, when my Warriors beat him.
No, okay,
no,
yes.
my Warriors beat him.
When your Warriors beat him, obviously that's something that's stuck in your head. I mean, that's like everyone said. Everyone can remember the dunk by Baron Davis.
You already know.
But, yeah, yeah. So, but I think that we got to put that in the back of our heads and be like, okay, maybe he's matured a little bit. Maybe he's a little bit better. And because of just based on last year, I'm going to have to put him at number 3.
See, but just based on last year, I think number 5 is where he's at. Because I believe during the regular season that he underachieved last year.
Oh, okay. Well, we can agree to disagree on Dirk. And come next year when we do this, like it'll be episode 506, you'll be kissing my ass. So, that's it, you guys. That's all we got to talk to you guys about. Just a quick review. My top 10. Okay, I got McGee, number 10. Hibbert, number 9. Kevin Love, number 8. Blake Griffin, number 7. Zach Randolph, number 5. Zach Randolph, number 6. Chris Bosh, number 5. Al Horford, number 4. Brooke Lopez, number 3. Dwight Howard, number 2. And Dirk Nowitzki, number 1. It's Dawkins. What's your list to review?
My top 10 is Chris Bosh, number 10. Andrew Bynum, number 9. Brooke Lopez, 8. LaMarcus Aldridge, 7. Kevin Love at 6. Number 5 is Dirk. Number 4 is Zach Randolph. Number 3 is Al Horford, and number 2 Amari, and the big man from Orlando is number 1 Dwight Howard.
Yep. Now people are probably thinking, why didn't any of us have Tim Duncan on there? And I think that we can both agree that he's kind of done. Like he
didn't do anything last year at all.
Yeah, and I mean let's just quickly touch on it. The Spurs. Do you think that team needs to totally revamp themselves? Like I feel like they're just way too old. And Tim Duncan. I
wouldn't put the onus on Tim Duncan, Ginobili, or even Tony Parker. I think they have to get rid of Tony Parker. I think they need more of a scorer at point guard. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Another thing is McDyess. I think that they all getting a little old. Jefferson was a bad move, but yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yep, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So, for next week, I know that this is going to come out on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how much time I got. But next week, we're going to talk about a whole different thing. We'll try to get one of these out each week. I want you guys to let us know in the comments any topics that you have. Whether it's, baseball, football, basketball, whatever. We always have an opinion on something. So just write in the comments. Let us know. It's Dawkins. Do you have anything to leave them on?
No, I just hope y'all enjoy the show. Come back. Like you said, we're going to try and have one every week. So look out for us.
Yeah, and I encourage you guys to, like I said, give us feedback. If you think it sucks, let us know it sucks. If you think it's good, let us know it's good, because that's the best thing that we can do. I mean, we love the haters. So
exactly.
Just hate on us. Really quickly, now I know that we don't want to make these too long, and it's right at 13 minutes, but really quickly, a good friend of mine just made a clothing line, so the link is down below. You guys can go check that out. I've seen it. They're really, really cool. They're really, really cool. So go check that out. But other than that, I'm out of here. Until next time, deuces, everyone.